Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm just going to take a second and load our video. Make sure I'm in frame. There we go. So basically, I wanted to make sure that I had all my coffee dyeing done before I did the next video, because I want to put some coffee dyed papers into our book. I'm just going to give everyone a minute to come in, and we'll get right into it. And I have the two pieces of fabric that I picked for the inside cover. So on the last video, we got as far as we have our book together and like our cover. We reinforced the spine. We have our fabric covering our book. We attached our fabric. I have a piece of lace at the front. On the inside, we have our closure. So we just have to cover the inside here. And so what I've done, we last finished off, I had 8 signatures. Was it 8? Yeah, it was 8. Because I've cut it down to 6. Because I figured, you know what, 6 signatures on a 2-inch spine is going to give me enough room to leave about 1/4 of an inch of a gap between each of them. And I'll show you why I like to do that. Because I like to bulk them up a little bit. I can add ephemera. It allows me to add ephemera in. And it also allows me enough space that I can add. Here's an example. I have a book over here I'm working on. This is kind of like a eclectic as I go kind of book. It's in my style. It's super grungy. Kind of masculine. And so what I like to do is have something like this. So here I have... This is where it's in between my signature, and I've left a bit of a gap, so I can put something like this in. So this is something that's like, it's got the dice on it, the die cuts, and it flips up, it has a pocket, and it's 3-dimensional, and then it flips open this way, and I can tuck a tag in here, and I want to either, I haven't decided if I'm going to glue it in or put it over top of the page. So right now, just to kind of save myself some time, I just have it sort of tucked in here, right like that. So I like to add elements like this in. So this is a great way to give yourself enough space between your signature that you can add these, like, you know, bigger ephemera pieces and things that you make. So just to give you guys some ideas. So that's what I've made with Tim Holtz die cuts. I embossed the butterfly with his, I think it's called Flutter, the butterfly. It's a Biggs die. And I ran it through the industrial embossing folder. And then on here I have one of the clock hands from Tim Holtz Timekeeper die. And then I have one of the mixed media dies in the background here. And then I have the industrial, or is it called Foundry? Yeah, Foundry. I have it's kind of like industrial looking, like metal, and I have that underneath, and then this one here is his lumber. So I've done both. I've done it where I have the actual embossing part here on the background, plus, and then of course I die cut the window with one of my nesting dies, and then I made this here where it's a separate piece to look like kind of like a border, and I could put a word or something there. So that's just to give you guys an idea. That's why I like to leave a gap between my signatures. So it allows me to add these extra ephemera pieces and things. So I'll go ahead and I'll put that back over here. Because that's what I do, guys. I keep my unfinished journals that I'm kind of working on back and forth at the front of my desk. And then it allows me to pull it out as I want to work on things. So that's kind of my game plan for tonight. So I went ahead and I coffee dyed 20 sheets of paper. So I want to explain this for anybody who's new. Hi Ida, thanks for joining. Hi Mary. So I just wanted to kind of explain, because I know we have lots of new members. So for coffee dyeing, it's simple, guys. I just use like a measuring cup or some kind of like sturdy bowl, can be anything. Just use what you have in your kitchen. And I have a Keurig machine. So I run a hot puck that's already been used. So I'm not using brand new coffee. I use a used puck from a coffee that I made, say, an hour ago or this afternoon sometime or something like that. And I run it again through the machine. So it's not a brand new cup of coffee, it's just kind of like remnants of, like, it's basically a used puck that I'm running through. And then, so that gives me the hot water that already has the, like, the coffee color in it. And then I add probably 3 tablespoons of actual instant coffee. I add to it to darken it up. Because I like to dye my papers once, and I don't like to dye them over and over and over and over and over again. And I like to kind of do it like an assembly line, where I'm kind of doing it on cookie sheets, and I use 4 of them, and I'm basically replacing 2 at a time in my oven, and I preheat my oven to 300. And so that's what I like to do. So that's what I did today. So these ones I did in like splatters. So I basically, I painted on with a paintbrush. So I have a very thick paintbrush, kind of like this, but more flat, and probably a little bigger. And then so I do, you know, splatters and different things. And that's what gives me this effect, by doing splatters. So I kind of have, you know, and then I have some that are kind of rusted, where like the finishes come off. They're not Teflon anymore. The Teflons all come up. So this is giving me a really unique kind of, almost like a metallic look because of the Teflon coming off. It's giving me like a metallic look on my paper now. So that's what I do, guys. I just use like old cookie sheets that, you know, the Teflon's coming up. They probably, you know, they're not, I wouldn't put food on them, you know. So I keep them in a separate cupboard, and I basically pull them out just for coffee dyeing. So this is what I do. And again, I'm getting that nice grungy texture that's kind of metallic looking because I've got the Teflon coming off of the pan. So that's kind of neat. Gives it just a little something. And so I've done a few like that are kind of like that. And then these ones I've just completely soaked it. And with the coffee, I like that mixture because, as you guys can see, it's darker than tea dye, but then it's not like dark like our distress ink. Here's something in distress ink just to compare. So it's not dark like this, but it's not super light like tea dye. So this is what I like about it. And a lot of people have asked me too about the smell of coffee dye paper. And yes, initially, like for me, I love the feel of it and everything, but I can't stand the smell of it. It stinks because it's instant coffee. I love real coffee, but yeah, the smell of instant coffee is awful. But I'm telling you, by the time you get your journal together and by the time you finish your journal, all that coffee smell has left your pages. So I don't even find that to be, like, it's kind of like a non-issue. You can only really smell it as you're putting your pages in your book, because by the time you finish your signatures in your book, I find that coffee smell, it disappears. It doesn't, like, linger and stay in your pages for years or anything. So I just wanted to share that. Oh, hi, Teresa. Hi, Stina. Thanks for joining. So, I did 20 pages, and I think I'm going to keep these ones aside because I have another plan for these. I just wanted some that were kind of speckled for something else I'm doing. So I'm going to go with like this more solid colored ones. And as you guys can see, the more you build up and the more you have in different areas, the different looks you're going to get. So what I want to do now, I'm going to move this so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'll put that aside. So I want to open this completely flat, and keep in mind we're not going to go completely flat because I have the hardware on here for the other side. So I want to make sure that's smooth. Yeah, we're good. Nothing's poking through. And I want to take my 2 pieces of fabric, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to sew around it. I really like how it's going to have that effect of it just being kind of like that. And I'm going to do one here on this side like this, and I'm going to do one on this side right like that. And I might even come in a little bit, so like overlap. There we go. I want to overlap the closure, but I'm going to add some more lace on the inside too. I can do that. There we go. So once I exactly figure out how I want to lay this all down, then I can come in with my fabric tack and I can make it permanent. There we go. just until it looks right. Just kind of playing with it. Doesn't have to be perfectly straight. As I've got. I have lots of trims and stuff too. I can go around the entire edge. I just want to make sure that I'm over top of that crease. So I might even come in like this and then come in like that. Yeah, right like this. Then I can come in with some thicker trim. Because I want to make sure that that is completely hiding my edges. And it's in enough. Okay. I'm sorry for the noise, guys. I have a heater going in here. It's really cold tonight. Hi, Josephine. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Paula. Thanks for joining. So I'm basically just going to go around like this with my Fabri-Tac. Oh, I have some stuck. There we go. Once I get it going, it'll be not too bad. So that's not tacked down all the way here either. There we go. And I just like to do like sections at a time. And I reinforce the spine with Tyvek tape. So again, I'm just going to start like right about here. Yep, right like that. Actually, I might come over this way a little bit more. There we go. That's probably better. And then up. Okay, I want this down a little bit. So you have a little bit of wiggle room just to get it right. There we go. So that's not entirely straight, but it's not going to matter because I have the hidden spine going over it. There we go. And I want to make sure I have a really good stick. I like the little stringies. Yep, right like that. Okay, and then I'm going to lift it that way. And keep going. There we go. I hope I'm in focus, guys. Yeah, I'm kind of good. I have my other phone charged so I can see the comments tonight. I'm ordering a new cell phone charger for in here. I still haven't found mine. Who knows? Oh, when you have kids, it's like, yep, okay. There we go. And I can add pockets and all kinds of stuff in here too. So that's what I like to do, just little sections at a time. And as I've mentioned, guys, this book is going to be a giveaway in group for our 1-year anniversary, sorry, our 2-year anniversary event, and also for our 1,400 members. So it's going to be kind of like a 2-in-1, because that's why it's a very large journal. And so somebody in group will win this. You just have to be on the sharing list. You have to have participated in a swap, a group swap in the last year, and be an active group member where you're commenting, watching videos, and because we factor all that in. There we go. So super fun. And I'll be drawing for this journal on December 31st on our anniversary. Here we go. And I want to put this one probably right about here. Here we go. And I think I want to move that over just a little bit. Yeah, right about there. Okay. Here we go. And I have not very large lace that I'm going to cover that with, so I'm not worried about the length. Here we go. Oh, and I can see. So anywhere that you need to reinforce, just go ahead and do that. There we go. And approximately here. Here we go. And I like to give it a good stick. Again, and I'm just smoothing out the fabric to make sure it's all secure. That's going to bug me. I'm going to cut that. Scissors. It's okay, I've got these ones. There we go. There they are. Perfect. Okay, so then when we put the spine in, here we go. It's going to go in like that. So you won't see where I've attached those two pieces, because this is going to be completely covered by our hidden spine, and then our signatures are going to be attached to here. So that's kind of how that works. Then I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to go over to the signatures. So I have I went from 8 down to 6. So I've done them like this, and they each have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, they each have between 4 and 5 pages right now, so I want to bring it up to about 6 to 8. So what I'm going to do is kind of supplement this with my coffee dye paper. So basically, I want to separate this one, and then, so I'm going to fold this in half. I want to make sure it's perfect. Oh, sorry guys, I just have a little disaster here with my fabric tack. It's going everywhere. Should have a baby wipe right here. Yeah. There we go. That sometimes happens. So if that happens, I just come in with a baby wipe, and away we go. I need to put the lid back on. It tends to do that once you start getting towards like the last half of your bottle. I find it starts oozing out. It happens. So the first one I folded in half. I'm going to put that in here. So then we're going to go from this one to our coffee dyed paper to this one, which makes it 3. And I like that one right after. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this one's got 7. Here we go. 7. I want to make sure they're all straight and they're all the right way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 7's good. So that's my first signature. So now what I want to do is make sure that the whole thing is completely even and it all lines up. And I'm going to paper clip it, or I can use binder clips, whatever you guys have. And I'm going to group it all together. Oh, we're gonna grab some more paper clips. Here we go. like to make sure that they're nice and secure. And again, my whole thing lines up. There we go. And again, I'm using my Fall Field Notes kit, and I'm also using a kit by Lorna Taylor, her fall kit, and I'm using an ephemera kit by Caroline's Craftery for this collaboration. So that's what all these pages are. And I've blended them. So the kits are not together, they're blended throughout the book. It's just a fun way to use different kits and the digitals that you have. Here we go. And I have that one here. And then I want one here. And I want one here. There we go. Perfect. So my first signature is ready to go. So then I can put this aside, and that's ready to be sewn in. That's the first one. And the second one, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to pull that off. And we're going to go 1. And I'm going to focus. So it's nice and even. I love the feel of coffee dyed paper. Like crinkling, and it's so nice. Okay. 2. Put it in there. And 3. 4, 5, and 6. I think that was 6. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7. There we go. Okay, there's my 7 pages. And that's what I like to do, guys, somewhere between 6 and 8 pages. I just find that to be a good number for sewing in your signature, because you're not going to have too much bulk, and everything's going to want to go in straight and flat and even. You're not going to get too much bulk. The more bulk you have in your signature, so if you want to do, like, you know, more than 10, I don't like to do that, just because I run a bigger risk of it not going in evenly, like my pages. So that's the only reason why I don't usually do more than that. I think 8's a good number. 7, 6, that sort of thing. Here we go. Even this process here of lining it all up, it's a lot easier. It's just personal preference. Some people like to. I just don't. Hi Lori, thanks for joining. Hi Stacy, thanks for joining. Yeah, sorry guys, I was exhausted yesterday. I just had all kinds of coffee dyeing to do, and it's been a really long week. We've had the kids home from school. They had an outbreak at their school, so we decided to pull them. So we're going to keep them home for the next couple weeks just to see how it goes in terms of cases and numbers and all that. So they've had 3 exposures since October, so we just think it's, you know, we'd rather be safe than sorry right now. And as I've mentioned too, our kids have special needs, so it's hard keeping them, you know, not to touch their face, touch their mouth, And our daughter, she does. She puts everything in her mouth, so it's hard to keep her safe from herself sometimes. So we've decided, you know what? We're going to keep them home. And my parents are elderly too, so we don't want to... Yeah, we don't want to, you know, expose my parents either. So... But everyone's perfectly healthy and everybody's good. And we're staying home. So. My husband does most of the shopping. I do all my shopping on Amazon. He'll vouch for that. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Perfect. So I've done that with this one. That looks great. There we go. That's a nice big one. There we go. Match up our corners. That looks good right here. Like these nice big ones. There we go. Helps keep everything nice and flat. Perfect. So that's our third signature here. So yeah, then we have yep, that one. And then we have this one. Here we go. And we have 3 more. So now we have this one. And I'm going to fold in this coffee dyed paper. I don't know, and the coffee dyed paper just gives it such a nice effect. And you can do so much stuff with it. You can stencil it. And this is where I like to add a lot of my elements too, is on like the coffee dyed paper. And then leave a lot of the digital portions for journaling and things. And I love working with digitals. They're so beautiful. And I do both, guys. I do the art journals and I do digital kits. Because I do like both. And then I incorporate both too. So it's like you use some digital and then you add like, you know, your art elements in too. Like your distress, and I do some watercolor painting and stamping. And you guys know I do all kinds of different stuff. It's just a lot of fun. Here we go. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that makes 7. There we go. There we go. Sorry guys, I'm quiet. I'm just concentrating here. Getting it all together. It's a lot of fun. I like to kind of explain my process, as you guys know, just for anybody who's new or isn't sure about sewing signatures in. Oh, I don't think I have that lined up. Nope, I do not. There we go. Hi Retta, thanks for joining, love. We are sewing our signatures into our book. I'm just getting them all together. This book's gonna have 6 signatures, and we're on the 4th one now. So I'm just securing everything. That's better. Whoops, knocked my glue over. There we go. Much better. Okay, that'll be a little quicker now. 1. I like these nice big clips. 3. And 4. There we go. Oh, could we look off a little? Bit longer on that side. It doesn't appear to be. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes you have to shift it around just a little bit. I'm going to go back to that one because that's kind of, yeah. I'll go back to that in a minute. I don't know what's going on with that one. Okay, so I'm going to take my clippers, hold them down. Here we go. I like to give them that crease because then they tend to sit better and you get them directly in half and then they're more likely to go in better. So 1, 2, 3. Four. 5. Wait, 6. Yep, there we go. 7. I want to make sure there's about 7 in each. There we go. Then I'm going to put them together. Here we go. I have a little spot in my drawer that I keep all my paper clips in, so I can just easily access them when I'm doing this. And then when I'm all done, I pull them off and put them all back in there. Here we go. I want to make sure these are all properly lined up, or we're going to run into that same problem. I'll go back to that signature, just sometimes I like a break from it. It's not working out, and then we'll go back and we'll fix it. There we go. So nice and lined up, and I'm nice and straight. Especially with the coffee dye paper, sometimes it just does not want to sit flat, and you kind of have to make it sit flat. And that's not always easy, but yep, that's the nature of coffee dyed paper. But it's beautiful to work with. I love it. And it's great too for stamping on and mixed media. It's just a really good base. I like it. There we go. Tim mentions very often that you need special cardstock to do watercoloring and mixed media. You don't, guys. You can do it on anything. I have acrylic, full-on acrylic paintings that I've done on just regular copy, copy paper from your printer. It's just a matter of how you treat your surface. Just add some gesso, or if you're working with distress crayons, add some gel medium. So yeah, that's why I love the journals, because there's no rules and we can literally decorate it and do whatever we want. And that's what I love about it. Okay, it was this one. Okay, so I think we were good along the bottom. Yeah, it's just along the sides and the top that's kind of a mess. So okay, this is done. Let's go back and do this. So I'm pulling off this side and the bottom. So sometimes you have to do that. And that's okay. Sometimes it's finicky and it just, yeah, I don't have any of that lined up. Okay, here we go. So essentially, I like to start at a corner. And sometimes you just have to have a little patience and you got to rework it. Because for whatever reason, it just didn't want to. There, see? That's what I'm looking for. I have a nice symmetrical edge where everything is perfectly lined up. There we go. That is precisely what I'm looking for. There we go. I just want to, that's what I like to do, just kind of run it through my fingers until it's all even and sitting exactly where it's supposed to. So I like making that pre-crease to my paper so that it wants to naturally sit into that crease. Oh, there we go. See, much better. Sometimes it just needs that little extra bit. There. And now if you guys can see, this is all going together better. Yeah, we're still having some issue with this corner though. And that's okay, sometimes you just have to, yep, some coffee dyed paper here. Slide it where it needs to be. As long as you have one corner and one whole side completely straight and perfect, then to line the rest of it up, it's a lot easier. It's just getting that first layer perfect at the top. There we go. Then just kind of smooth it out like that as we go. That's better. Just want to make sure that I line my sides all up. Just like that. There we go. And then we just have one more left after this one. There, my side, see my side's still a little wonky, but it is sitting flat. And it's perfectly symmetrical, and that's all that matters. There we go. Perfect. See, that's so much better. There we go. So then I have this one, and this one. Yep, that one. And then this one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this makes 6. Okay, here we go. This one. These really flow together, so maybe go 2, put a coffee dye sheet here. That's what we'll do. And I gotta make sure these are completely even. Yep, there we go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5, 6, 7. And this one has more. This one has 8. That's okay. There we go. And that's the final signature in the book. And that happens sometimes too, guys. Sometimes I'll have, 6 signatures in one, 8 in another, and it's fine. Yeah. It won't make a difference. And there's no exact middle, because there's 6 signatures. So if there was an exact middle, I'd put the biggest signature in the middle. And then, that's kind of like the halfway mark of your journal, but it doesn't matter. It can go anywhere. There we go. And again, I'm just lining up those corners perfectly. There we go. Right like that. Yep, make sure that we are completely straight. That's better. So we just kind of have to work it with our fingers here. Make sure everything's nice and straight. There we go. And then this corner. There we go. And see, that just has to go a little higher. There, perfect. So you just have to make sure that your corners are all perfect and your sides and angles are all perfect. There we go. Same thing with here. We want to make sure this all lines up perfectly. There's our coffee dyed paper. There we go. We're pulling that all right to the corners. Okay. There we go. That one's really a tight fit. There we go. And I just don't like anything to interfere right in that area where I'm going to sew the signature in. Here we go. So this book has a hidden spine. So I've reinforced the spine into the book, and then we are going to create a spine that I sew the signatures to. And then when the signatures are sewn to the spine, we are going to sew the spine. Sorry, we're going to glue the spine into the book with Fabri-Tac. Here we go. Perfect. And that is signature number 6. And I'm really happy with how that turned out. Okay, so then I'm going to put them all back. And then what we're going to do, we're going to take that piece of cardstock, and I want to reinforce it. And I'm going to do a couple of things. Because I don't ever leave it like a plain white or a stark color. Like that. I won't do that. So the first thing I want to do is I want to reinforce it. It's not thick enough. So this is, that's 110. This is 65 pound cardstock. So it doesn't matter. I can use my art glitter glue for that. Here we go. So basically just want to come in with my art glitter glue. go along the whole thing. I absolutely love this glue. This is probably my new favorite now. Next to Fabri-Tac, of course, because that's the best thing for gluing fabric. But this is my favorite thing ever for gluing paper. Next time I get it, though, I'm going to order it in clear. I was only able to get it in white, and that's okay, because it's actually 1,000 times better than using Aleene's. So that's what I find. I just wanted to share that. Oh, thanks for joining us, Retta. You have a good night, love. Here we go. And I'm going to cut right along there. And I just want to make sure it's completely straight, because this is literally meant to go perfectly into our journal. There we go. Right like that. And then I want to cover this in either paper or cardstock, or maybe even, you know what, maybe just coffee dyed paper. We could do that. That'll look nice. Just maybe this way. Yep, I can do that. Okay. And coffee dyed paper. So we know this is the front, or the top, I should say. So basically, we're just going to do the same thing. And for show, we're going to add that layer of coffee dyed paper. It'll be the same sort of color as a journal. I just never leave it like it's white cardstock. And here we go. Oh, I want to make sure that's perfectly lined up. There we go. Add a little buckle here. The best thing for that is to get a bone folder and smooth it out. Yeah, it's already buckling. It's because it's coffee dyed paper. That's okay. Just make sure it's nice and smooth. And work out your air bubbles like this. I know it's an awful noise, guys. Sorry. There we go. Get rid of all those tiny little air bubbles. Okay. Flip it over. Use my scissors. And I'm going to cut right along that same line here. There we go. Perfect. So that is where we're going to sew our signatures to. And I'm just going to work out these air bubbles. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to line this up, and my favorite ruler to use is my Holtz Ruler. And it's like the #1 thing to get lost on my desk. Oops, I did it again. Sorry guys, I crashed right into my phone holder. Because I can't move my chair out too far. There, sorry. Here it is. It's back in the thing. I'll have to adjust that back. Sorry guys, crash. There we go. That's better. Sorry guys. I have my Holtz Ruler. And I have, it's just a little over 2 inches. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get something with, like, this is why I really like this ruler, because it has like a grid. So basically I can take this and I can line it right up, and I can square off exactly where my signatures are going to be. So see, I've evened it out on both sides, so I can say, okay, here, and I can do the whole, this is a tick for every 1/4 of an inch. And then I have 6 signatures, so I want to break this into 6. And I like to leave myself at least a little bit of room between here and here. So see, that's where I'm going to determine where I'm going to start my signatures. So I like to do it so I have room on the side of the spine, so I'm not interfering with either the crease of the book or the getting it so close to the edge that my stitches could come out. So that's the other thing too. You want to make sure this whole thing is secure. And if you guys can see, I have exactly 7 ticks. So 7 ticks tells me this is the middle here. And then that tells me this is the 2 points of the outside. And that would be 3 signatures. So if I want 6, I need to double that. So I'm going to go, I won't go in the middle then. I'd make that a little bit bigger of a space. Or I could even, to get my 6 in, I could do it in a way that's more like, because I want to kind of even this out, right? So that's my middle for 3, because I don't want to come any closer to the edge. Or even right beside the middle for 2. So go like right here for 1, and then go right here for 2. That's probably my best bet for that one. And then right in between them, so if you guys can see that, and then right in between them for the next one. So right in between them is here, and right in between them is here. So that's kind of how I just sort of plan out where my six however many signatures I'm going to do and how big my spine is. That's how I plan it out. I do like a rough measurement of how much space there is between each spot. So it'll be like that. And then so I would do the same thing. So then I have the grid line going this way. So I know these are each 1/4 of an inch. So I have one line here intersecting this one. I have 1/4 of an inch here. Yep. 1/4 of an inch. And I want to make sure it's even all the way across. Right here. 1/4 of an inch. That's the next one. And then move that down to here. 1/4 of an inch. And then here, 1/4 of an inch. 1/4 of an inch. And 1/4 of an inch. So if you guys can see, the lines are going to be pretty much where I want to break that down and get my signature in. But this one's off just a little bit. So anytime that I'm kind of off a little bit, I just like to make that correction. There we go. So it's just, you know, a matter of just playing with it and figuring out where your lines are. And I don't want to do the dots there. I want those in the center. So basically then what we're looking to do, so now we know where we have roughly our 6 lines. You're not going to see this. This is going to be the opposite side that I glue into the book. This is the side that's going to sit on top where the holes are going to be and where I'm going to sew the actual signature in. I use this part here as my guide. And I don't have a template. This is something I do on every journal that I make because I custom make the spine to fit each journal that I make, because each journal is different. Like this one's off by 1/4 of an inch of what, say, a 2-inch spine would be. So each one has a different measurement. So what I then would do is break this into a third. So I've got 4.5 high, and then I know that it's going to be like the 6 wide. So the actual center of the journal is between here and here. It's not on a signature line. So if that makes sense, that's why I've put my 2 little arrows like this. So that's the center of my signature. And then I want to figure out exactly where the halfway mark is. So we've got 4.5 inches. So we've got 1, I've got a half here, 1.5, and then I have another 2.5, 2, I'm on 9, 1.5. That would put me here, and then it would be another here. So this is my exact middle right there. So if you guys can see, I just kind of figured out exactly where it would be. So this is my middle. This is where my middle signatures are going to be. And then I like to go about 1/4 inch in. So then I'm just going to literally square this up and go like, that's good, like that. If you guys can see how I've squared that, that's like 1/2 inch. There. So using a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, this is where my holes are going to be. And then I just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And for this, the 6-stitch pamphlet stitch, I like to do 3 on a book this size. I would only do 6 if it's this like massive, 12 by 12 book, or 11 by 11 by whatever. So if it was massive to secure it in, I would say yes, do the 6-stitch pamphlet stitch. But because it's not, it's only, a 6-inch book. 6-inch, or hold on, I'm holding that wrong. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's 8. 8.5. It's fine. So I just wanted to share that. So don't feel like you have to do that. And there is no right or wrong way. There's several different methods. There's a Coptic stitch. I think that's what it's called, Coptic stitch. And there's all kinds of different methods to sewing in signatures. And I showed you guys a little decorative stitch that I like to do on a 1-signature journal. You can do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, but you don't have to. And there's no right or wrong way. And just do what you're comfortable with. And once you make a few journals, then you can try different methods of sewing things in. And that's my 2 favorite methods, guys. Either doing a hidden spine like I'm doing right now, or like the other journal that I showed you, it has a stitch spine. So I'll be doing several videos showing you both. And yeah, I typically use a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. This is going to secure everything just fine. And if you're new and you're starting, this is the best method and way to start. And if you mess up on your line, like see I did here, doesn't matter. I just need to know that I need to come to where the lines intersect of my line going this way and my line going down. So I'm not going to want to put my signature down here. I'm going to want to make sure that my hole is poked here where that line is, so that they all line up. So that's essentially all you have to do. And I'm using Sizek's Stamper's Secret Weapon, and it came with like one of those stamping platform things that you can poke into. So that's what this is from. And it's my favorite because it has like an anti-slip, so I'm not going to poke myself. And even when I'm holding it and I'm trying to, I'm not going to poke myself. And then I like to use crochet thread. Some people like to use crochet thread. You can use a wax thread. Use whatever you're comfortable using. I've always used crochet thread, and it's very durable, and I've never had an issue with my signatures coming out. So just use whatever you have and whatever you're comfortable using. I think if I was doing a bigger journal that was like, like a 12 by 12 journal where I needed to do the bigger stitches, like the 6-hole Well, pamphlet stitch, I would probably prefer to use like a wax thread. So again, whatever you're comfortable with. Nope. That doesn't want to go in there. There we go. It's better if you cut that on an angle. And I'm using just, you know, a large eye pin. Like a head, like a large eye needle, sorry. Large eye on my needle. Oh, dropping stuff. Okay. So I just like to double it, kind of like this, make it nice and long, because I am sewing in quite a few signatures. But if I have to come back for more thread, that's no big deal, because I can always tie it off. And I like to do that every signature anyways, tie it off and do that. So what you're going to want to do is figure out, okay, so as you guys can see, this is where my holes are. This is not my front, this is my back. So I want to flip it, and it doesn't matter what way it goes in, it's all the same. So I'm going to want to start out in the middle. So the first thing I'm going to do, no, sorry. I'm going to take my, before we even get to that, sorry. All right, I'm going to want to line this up. Each of these. Hang on. I'm going to check my time. We might have to do this in 2 parts. Yeah, it's already 11:37. Okay. So now, see guys, you want to make sure that this whole thing's going to line up. So now what I want to do is put like a tiny little tick. You know what? Better yet. There we go. Line this right up in the center. This is my first signature. And it's going to line up. Yeah, right to here. So I want to line up exactly where my 2 holes are. There we go. And make sure that this is going right over top of where you have that. 1, 2, and I just do it in pencil. 3. So see guys, I've made my little marks. 1, 2, 3. And then I know. Oops. There it is. One. Oops. 2. And 3. Like that. So we're going to get the first one in right now. Okay. Whoops. So I'm coming here. No. Sorry guys, it's late. I'm going, okay. This is going to the bottom, because we're sewing our signatures to it. I'm coming in through the center here, like that. That's what we're doing. Sorry guys. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm not even sure. Okay. And then we go through here. So if you guys can see. So we've gone through the book to the back, and then we're going through this one, like this. So as you guys can see, once we, here we go, it's all gonna work. Right like that. In the middle. In the middle. Like so. Okay. And then we're going to come through the top up here. Like that. There we go. And then we're going back through to here, to the other side. Come on. There we go. Okay. And that should look exactly like this, where we're attached to that first signature here. Okay, right like this. See? And right like that. That's what we want. the first one. So then when we come in here, okay, we're between here and here. I like to leave a tail on this end. So this one here, I'm going to move it right over here and just kind of tuck it in here so that's not going anywhere. And that's going to keep that part here secure. So now we're going to go back so we went in the hole to the back, and then we went through the hidden spine, and then we came out the whole hidden spine at the top and through the book at the top. Just arranging this. Here we go. Then we're going to go through the center. So up at the top, we're going to go through the center here. There we go. Through the center. Okay. Then we're going to flip it over. And we're coming back through the center like this. Here we go. I want everything to be nice and tight. There we go. Nice and tight. Secure. And we're going through the bottom. Like so. And we're going through the bottom. Like so. Here we go. Like that. And then I like to do it twice. So then I'm coming up to the middle and I'm going into the middle. I'm coming down. Like that. And I'm going back through my hole here. Okay. There we go. Okay. And I'm coming back through the top. The top. Oops. The top. The top. There we go. And through the top. There we go. I just need to pull this a little bit more. There we go. Okay, now I've gone back through the top and I'm going back through the center. So down, through the center, and back through that first hole, sorry, that middle hole here. Okay, there we go. Like that. And then back through the bottom. Back through the bottom. Okay, back through the bottom. Alright, and then we're going to go, so when we go from the middle to the top to the bottom, to the middle to the top, and then when we're on the last one, so we've got our one stitch and we're making two, from the bottom to the center, we're just going to do this, and we're gonna, there's two strings here, we're gonna come in between, and I'm going to pull it like this tight, like this. I'm going to make sure my whole signature is tight, and this is where I'm going to take my tail. So that's the tail that we have. I'm going to make sure the whole thing is nice and tight, and we're all nice and secure. And then I'm going to tie a double knot. I can show you guys again. Do you guys want to see that again? And then I like to leave a tail. So that's my signature sewn in. And I can literally take off now all my paper clips. And we have our first signature in. Okay. So this one is now completely secure, if you guys can see, to my spine. If you guys can see that, I am completely secure to the spine. Like that. Then I'm going to clip the whole thing so this doesn't get in my way, and I'm going to do the next one. Okay, nice and tight there, just making sure. And that was, yep, the birds. Then I'm doing field notes. Okay, I'm going to do one more, and then I will come back next week and we'll finish these. Okay, so same thing. I'm going to line up my holes with the second one. So I want to make sure that, and see, it's giving me, and if you get it right, guys, it's going to give you that perfect gap like that in between your signatures. So again, you've got room for ephemera stuff, and you've got room for you to bulk up your signatures with like ephemera things and that sort of thing. So that's why I like to leave that 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, it's about a 1/4 of an inch of a gap. And then I showed you that ephemera paste that I made. So if you want to tuck something bulky between the signatures to fill that gap in, that's what I like to do. And that just gives me room to be able to add folios and those kind of elements. Because I love them. That's my thing. Aw, thanks, Billy Joe. That's so sweet of you, love. So then we're going to line these up. And again, my pokey, I just call it my pokey tool. Whoops. That's not a pokey tool. That's an embossing pen. No. They both have white lids, though. Where did you go? Here it is. Yep. Pokey tool. Okay. So we want to line these up again. Right like that. We always want to make sure, and this is the biggest thing too, guys, making sure that your signature matches the top and matches the bottom. So that you have, so that your pages are all evenly placed within your book. If you can see, you want them to be completely symmetrical. And then you want your signature to line up with the next one. So again, I'm going to do this. I'm going to line them up right like this with the next one. So this one here is going to sit right in here at the bottom, if you guys can see. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put my pencil into here and just make a little mark. My pencil into here, and I'm going to make a little mark. And I'm going to put my pencil into here, and I'm going to make a little mark. Just like that. And then I can see exactly where my marks are. And it doesn't matter if I've hit the spine or not. I just literally move it over. So here I am here. It's not on the spine, you guys can see, but it's right here, and I'm just going to drag it over. That's where my hole is. Then I have here, and I'm just going to drag it over. And that's where my hole is. I'm just going to, from here, I'm going to drag it over, and that's where my hole is. Yeah, right here. There we go. Then I'm going to sew it in. Then we're going to take our string again with our, with our thing here. Here we go. Okay. Then we're going to start in the center like this. Okay? In the center. Right like that. Pull it long, and then I like to take this tail. This is my tail. And I want to tuck it up here so this whole thing can stay tight, because that's how we tie off our signature. Then we're tight to here. That's our very center. And then I'm going to put this down. Sorry, guys. I'm going to take this part here, and I'm going to put this down into here, and then I'm going to come up. Oh, and I want to make sure I'm not coming up the wrong hole. I'm going up the next one, because that other signature is already done. We don't want to go up the same hole. We want to come up the one beside it, which is this one. So that's what we're going to do. We're going down and up. And then I'm going to pull this tight. That's just to show you guys in one shot of what we do there. There we go. And then what we're going to do is take our needle and we're going to come up here. Here we go. In the crease. There. And this should sit perfectly even and perfectly level, if you guys can see that. Right in here. Next. Perfect. Then we go to the middle. Here, the middle, the next hole. Right there. Okay. And then we come down. And we're coming down here. And we're going through the hole down here. There we go. Okay. And then we're coming to the middle. That. Back to the middle. Sometimes it's just finicky. It's like our holes are there, but there we go. See? And I want to be careful. I'm not coming through the first signature. I'm coming through the second. If you guys can see that, super careful and finicky. Come through the second hole. Don't come through the first hole. If you guys can see, second hole, stay away from this one. That's where our first signature is. We got to come through here. Okay. Then, yep, we're going back up to the top. So back up here to the top and come through signature. I like to do it twice because it just makes it more secure. And we can pull everything tight. Okay, there we go. Again, I like to make sure everything is nice and tight, nice and solid, and we don't have gaps or anything because you've got to keep everything, see, there we go. Got to keep everything nice and tight because we don't want to be too flimsy either. See, we want everything to line up perfect. Then we're coming back down through the middle. Okay, down from top to the middle. Okay. Again, I want to make sure I'm coming through the second hole, not the first. So I'm coming through here. Yep, second hole. Perfect. Okay, so you guys can see. There we go. And always double check, make sure you don't have a knot. There we go, everything's secure, everything's tight. Perfect. And then we go to the bottom. Okay, we're in the bottom hole. Right here, come up the bottom. And again, we're gonna pull. Now that we've come through the bottom, we're going to, how we have the two, we have the, if you guys can see that, we have two strings. We're going to come between the two strings and we're going to pull. So we just kind of look like this right in the center. And then I have this and I have this. So now I don't need my thread. And we're going to take the two and we're going to tie the first knot like this. Nice and tight. And then I take this and I go 1, 2, because I like to double knot it so it is not coming out. There we go. And then I like to have it hanging, and then I like to give it a trim approximately the same. So right about here. Doesn't have to be perfect, but approximately the same. There we go. Then I can pull off all of my paper clips. So this is kind of the next part what I like to do, so you guys can kind of see. I like to clip it all together so my signatures are not moving while I'm trying to reinforce everything and sew it in. So this is kind of a little hack, and it just, for me, it makes my life easier. So now I can take a paper clip. So I've got that secured there, but I want a really good size paper clip that I can just come in and I can secure that. So I don't have to worry about these pages interfering with my next stitches, because I'm doing 6, right? So that's as far as we're going to do tonight, and I'll come back and do the next 4 with you guys so you guys can see it. It's up to you. I can do it again, or I can have this done before the live. If somebody requests me to to finish the signatures because they want to see it done, I'll do it. And if not, I will have this ready for next week. We'll play it like that. So just, yeah, let me know if you want to see it. All right, everyone, you guys have a great night. And I'll be back, actually, instead of Friday. My parents are coming for a visit on Friday. So I'm going to be going live on Sunday. So Sunday night, same time. I totally understand, you know, I'm mixing up my days this week. So if you guys are not available, you can always catch the replay on my YouTube channel or in group. And I'm going to be demoing. I want to show you a new product that I have. And I'm so excited. I think I've already put it away. What? So I'm going to demo the new distress crayons that Cheryl had sent me, which was so sweet of her. The new Mica Distress crayons. And I have Ice Ink dye sprays by Seth Apter. I have, this one is coffee, and this one is lavender. So I'm really excited to crack these open, guys, and start using them. So I will let you guys know too, they're 80 mils. So there's 2.7 full ounces. So they are a good size. Like even if you can see my hand comparison, or even my glue comparison, they're a really good size. And they're supposed to be fast drying and no clog. So I'm really excited to see how these work. And they're supposed to be comparable to distress spray stains. And apparently when I use a wet surface, they're going to work. They're going to react with it. So I'm going to give these a try on Friday and show you guys some stuff that we can do with these. I'm really excited because I really like Seth Apter. He's a very nice person, and I really like his products. Like the look of them, this is my first time trying them, so I'm excited. So I just wanted to let you guys know. So I won't be back Friday, but I will be back on Sunday. And the next week, hopefully, my videos will be the same. So I just wanted to let you guys know. And I'm working on our Christmas digital kit. I'm going to have that done hopefully this week. I'm aiming to. And I will do a live with that. And guys, I can't tell you how wonderful it is. I am so excited. It's super soft. It has like a damask pattern. It's very vintage and Victorian. And I'm really happy with how it's coming out. So I just wanted to give you guys that heads up. And also, I'll give you guys the heads up too. I'm going to be doing a roll call very soon for designers. So if you guys if you're interested in getting in on my design team, PM me. And I'm going to be doing a roll call in group very soon for that. So if that's something that you might be interested in, I'd love to have you on my team. So yeah, just keep that in mind, guys. So that's going to be coming very soon. So I just wanted to let you know. And I'm excited. We're already in November, and we're going to be starting our Christmas events all soon. And we've started some of them. Lori has some of our swaps posted. And I'm just really excited for everything coming. All right, guys, you have a great night, and I'll see you back on Sunday. Thanks, everyone. Bye.